Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. The playoffs at Masters Shanghai are officially underway in the first series, an absolute banger from 100T before the series even began, and as the series continues to progress, Boostio with some big words after the series, certainly for their opponent in the next rounds. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Some roster stuff happening elsewhere. Aston was actually gassing up Silence here for getting the deal done with Winthrop Esports, joining those guys, competing in challenges going forwards. That I thought was cool to see. We're still expecting NRG to say something at some point. They did say, NRG, that the announcements are happening this week. So that could be today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, but probably by the end of the week, if not very soon indeed, we are going to have Som and FNS probably officially confirmed into the roster, because let's be real, it's got to happen at some point. There is simply no other explanation for what's happened over the last few weeks than this becoming a thing. And even Chet has just given up pretending that this is not happening. He says, yo, get on, in the replies here to Som. And, Sabro just says, very long fishing trip, brother, because, yeah, he was away for quite some time practicing with the team. There was also this confirmation from Furia that Zans is going to be in their roster for sure going forward. Now, this was rumoured a while ago. This was rumoured, of course, when Pancada was also rumoured. And this is the interesting part about this whole discussion, is that Pancada to this team was potentially going to be happening. It didn't happen twice, because Pancada the first time had some health issues, apparently, and the second time had some health issues, apparently. So then he decided not to sign the deal. And I'm sure that there was something that Aspas was dealing with. I don't mean to downplay if he's actually going through stuff, but, you know, it might be theorised as a negotiating tactic, shall we say, to get a potential deal nearly done and a contract ready to go, and then, of course, see if there are better options available out there. But, of course, for Zan, that's not necessarily going to be the case. He's locked in the deal now with Furia going forwards. I actually like the way that they've rebuilt their team. I think that Pancada there could do a solid job. The thing is, for Pancada, that there is also the option of being at Loud, and that is exactly what he's going to be looking to take up right now, as we presently understand it. So, if that goes through, because apparently it's under serious consideration over the last few days. Controversially, the other day, we saw Stacks get released, or actually benched, I guess, as a restricted free agent from DRX. They haven't performed as they would have liked to. They didn't even make it to Shanghai. They were close. They lost to, they didn't even lose to T1. They lost to both PaperX and Gen.G to bow out of the tournament early on. So they made a roster change with Stacks out. Flashback is back in, which is absolutely what they needed to happen. Now, look, minus Stacks Flashback is like, are we sure that's a good one-for-one trade? Well, it's not on paper in terms of their abilities and their respective talents. But at the same time, Flashback is a talented player, and as soon as he stepped away, I thought, like, I think they need him back if they're going to be where they want to be, and apparently that's what they're going to try and do right about now. Also wanted to share this because this was absolutely Som-esque here from none other than BCJ. Here goes Scuba with a defuse. He just dives straight in and dies and still doesn't stop the defuse. Like, absolute shambles they really there from BCJ. They got 12-11 at that point. That's actually enough for them to close out the series last night in Challenges. So this is how things look in the second part of the regular season in Challenges. Winthrop take their first win. Oxygen take their first win against Fluffy Aimers, as we just unfortunately saw for the likes of BCJ, and they moved to a 1-0 with a 2-0 map count start, but that is obviously going to continue going forwards. But let's talk about this 100T Boostio series, or 100T versus Foot Esports series. As Boostio says, playing Foot today, and I got a fetish, baby. A phenomenal tweet, actually, hit from Boostio, I'm not going to lie, and he's ready to absolutely snack on those boys, and that's exactly what happened. He even brings the pig out, which I thought was sensational content here. And they just got slapped around. Like, this was incredibly impressive from 100Ts. We know they're good, right? Like, there's no doubt. They won the Americas situation to get here. But going into the tournament, the still question was there, how good are they going to be compared to the other opposition around the world? How good are they going to be compared to the Pacific? How good are they going to be compared to EMEA? But it has been a theory of Boostio's, let's not forget really, during the time when they were winning the World Championship last year, that if you become the best team in the Americas, you are likely to be the best team in the world. I'm not sure that's the case right now, but 100T, if they are not the best team, they're not far away. So they do give them a round here as 100T say, okay, they can have one, fair play, and then they just slapped around for the rest of the map. Like, this Icebox was dominant, 13-2, not even close. Foot are probably not that good. But, man, the way that they went down here was super impressive on the 100 Thieves side. And they completely slapped him around on the map 2 binder as well. This was the Cryo show as well. This guy, man, on the Brimstone, had ridiculous ACS. He wasn't far, I think the record is in the early 500s, like 512, something like that anyway, for the ACS record in a map. And he weren't far off. He was 32 and 11 over 18 rounds for an ACS of 452 on the Brimstone, as I'm going to say again. Boostio, Asuna, like in terms of an international series on this caliber, when there should be teams putting up a fight, to get 13-2, 13-5, and even this round they probably shouldn't have won either. Like it should have been almost an absolute complete whitewash bloodbath. But yeah, for esports go down. So I was just really impressed here by Cryo especially. I thought, you know, this guy was so good on Xset, and it just wasn't really working on that former 100 Thieves iteration. There was questions, you know, does Asuna need to go? Does Cryo need to go? It was talked about. Thankfully, for those of us who enjoy watching professional Valorant played at this kind of level, Cryo's still here because he's still absolutely cooking. And in the post-game interview, thought it was fascinating what, firstly, Yinsu, killer job here, by the way, translating from English to Chinese as a back and forth for the fans. But Boostio talking about how good they are as a team and saying, yeah, they're basically the best in the world.
Put down CNET. 2-man advantage now here for the side of 100 Thieves as they look to bring Find to an end.
The fuck? That guy went over the site.
Oh, it's the wingman's still bugged, I'm pretty sure. Like, it like goes through boxes still.
They're ready here from EU.
Yeah, this guy climbed over the site.
Yeah.
Sends it, Cryo.
That's farming. He actually went at them. Holy shit.
I did not expect that at all.
100 Thieves.
That's it?
That's a series.
They look good.
2-0.
They look real good.
That's too fast.
Absolute destruction. 400
Wait, what was your predictions? Foot?
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying,
2-1.
Yeah, we done good.
maybe Paper X is the favorite of this tournament. Well, 100 Thieves have something to say about that because the way they look today.
Oh, my pick'ems are done. I tried. There's always next year. There's always champions. Fuck it.
Looked unstoppable. And
Absolutely deadly.
EU cooking EU, good one, bro.
I just got a glimpse of it here. 452 for Cryo on a Brimstone.
452 on Brim. Absolutely impeccable performance
Nice try.
from him across both these maps.
452 closeout is nice, dude.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's big.
Here in front of the crowd, but it's not over for them quite just yet. Obviously, double elimination here in the playoffs. Another opportunity, a chance to try to make a run in the lowers, but at the moment, 100 Thieves just picking them
100
apart
Thieves.
like vultures.
Nate will be happy when he wakes up.
The pig is gonna be in the
But
picture.
you know, it's great you get here to the playoffs. It's great you get that extra life.
Low-key Piggy
To
MVP.
reset the tournament for yourself. But with how much Foot has already had to play, you know, 100 Thieves looking just clean.
They would have probably had a harder time versus Lev.
Prepping for this match. Their
Yeah.
util
Lucy
usage
said
is
you don't play low.
insanely on point. So many of those
No
seasons.
access.
但是 these could be on this stage, and my oh my, they showed it today. I'm now joined by Boostio from 100 Thieves for a quick interview. 大家好，我们现在邀请 Boostio 选手在这个台上做一次采访。你们上一次来到国际大比赛的时候，你们是拿下了一次冠军，所以我想问问你，这一次你的感受是什么样？你觉得你们这个队也可以拿一次冠军吗？ Last time we saw you on the international stage, you took home the big prize. You were the winners. I wanted to ask you, what are the vibes like this time around? Do you think you guys could, as this team, are able to take the crown as well?
I mean, I definitely think we are the best team in the world right now, probably. I think there's a lot of good teams in the tournaments like PRX and Fnatic. Super excited to play them. But I mean, after what we did in Americas and what we did today, I mean, no one can say that we're not at least top 3.
I agree. 他说我自己肯定觉得我们是在世界上最强的一队，还有一两个别的队也很强，像 Paper X 或者是 Fnatic。但是
As Boostio says, when you get a performance like that, is that not the performance of a team that is, you know, one of the best teams in the world? I mean, he said straight up, Boostio's a massively confident guy, and he's always going to let teams know what he thinks about them, and we'll see an example of that in a second. But, you know, he reckons they're the best team in the world, if not right up there, right? And to be fair to 100T, we saw just yesterday, or whatever it was, day before, they were massively celebrating not putting Paper X on their side of the bracket, right? Like, they want to avoid Paper X until the upper finals, which is probably understandable, but at the same time, it shows that, you know, maybe they're not fully confident they're the best team in the world, because if they were, they wouldn't care who they played, right? But nonetheless, they might be up there, and 100T think and Boostio thinks they're easily top 3. So we'll see by the end of the tournament whether that prediction comes true. Very entertaining character Boostio. Like, I can't get enough of when this guy opens his mouth, because there's always something entertaining happening, or even when he doesn't and he brings the pig out on stage. But 100T quick 2-0. Fnatic Gen.G. This is the other side of the series. It's currently 10-8 in favour of Fnatic. They had a nice first half here, 9-3, but all of a sudden, Gen.G making a bit of a comeback here on the Lotus. So could the 9-3 curse come through? That is Gen.G's pick, though, so they arguably need to, because they go to Bind next up. These were the overall numbers then for that series. Everyone positive on 100T, obviously. Everyone negative on FUT Esports, given the dominance of that particular game. But yeah, Cryo, 46-20 over a couple of matches for the victory. Super impressive. And as Boostio says, you know, that was just way too easy. Jesus, right? So, super impressive for 100T. They are turning into a real force. Like, the chemistry's there. Boostio has been proven to be such an important aspect, not just for Evil Geniuses last year that now look nowhere near as good, but also with this roster as well. And I thought it was interesting that Asuna was, okay, look, I know that they're just saying things on Twitter, but some players are pretty superstitious. They don't like to say things if they think it could come back to bite them. And as Asuna says, 2-0's FUT, we're winning Shanghai, just wait. So the feeling might be that actually these guys are really good. They know they're really good. And the feeling is that, you know what, Asuna would prefer to call it early on Twitter and then go on to win it after the fact and quote tweet it than do something else. So very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.